We live. Welcome to What's Happening. I'm Brad.
I'm Fred.
It's a show we talk about what's happening. What's happening with you, bro?
Not much. Just got a little redemption on the game. Um, we had a ladies middle school basketball game. Squad that beat us. We turned around and got the dub on tonight. So good spirits. It was eighth grade night for the girls, so they got their dub on eighth grade night. So that was good. You know, we moved. You know what I'm saying? Last week I said that. You know what I'm saying? So that's going good. I mean, high hopes. I got my work done, so I should have all my stuff in, and you know what I'm saying, credits, everything good. So I should be, you know what I'm saying, having a bachelor's degree come end of December.
Yes, sir.
You know what? I'm just feeling good.
Hey, I ain't mad about you. Ain't mad about it one bit, bro. Happy for you. Happy for the family. Congrats are in order. And we're gonna definitely have
Appreciate
to
it.
we have to make it work.
What's
Uh
cracking with you?
Man, I'm doing all right. You
Struggling.
know, as best as I can. I'm a little down on my technology, so I'll just go ahead and let back the I'll peel back the covers a little bit. If you didn't hear no music, it's because I ain't got my stuff together yet. And if you do hear music, don't worry about it. But for any kind of audio issues, please forgive us. We're gonna get back on track. Y'all know how we try to do it the right way here. What's happening? But outside of my little technology issues I'm having, bro, I'm good. I did we did our fantasy basketball draft last night, and I was able to snatch Ja Morant away from you. You always take Kevin Durant with that first round draft pick every year, no matter what.
Bro, I was gonna go for Ja. You know what I'm saying? Like first, I was like, you know what? I know he ain't gonna last. But what threw me off, I was like, I might have a chance because when I first came in the draft, I had first pick, and it was the $200. So I had a whole different scheme, and then
Mm,
I was like, hey, jump out and jump back in because they talking a little different right now in the group. So I did, and I seen it go away. I was fifth pick, so I'm like scurrying around trying to revamp plans. So I was like, you know what? When in doubt, take KD out.
You know what, man? KD is a wild card because I mean, if anybody does fantasy basketball, I mean, or if you just watch basketball in general, when he's on the court, from an offensive perspective, he can't be stopped. The problem is man, he don't be standing on the court like that sometimes, man. Um,
Think we got them years past
I
us.
hope. I mean, we got them years past us, but he going into year 16 right now, so we'll see what happens. But I'm feeling good about my little teams. I did 3 drafts last night. I feel good about my teams. Um, yeah, man. I told you before we got on the air, I'm halfway, living that single dad life, so to speak. I say halfway. My wife ain't left me yet, but what happened was, what happened is that I told you she got the new gig and she's kind of, you know, making sure that she ties things up with the old gig the right way. So she's working a lot. So, I'm taking the kids to school and bringing them home, and making dinner, getting them situated, getting them ready for bed, helping them out. All the steps, right? You know,
Super dad
I mean, and right now, hey, she the breadwinner, so I'm not upset.
at all. Hey, you gonna have a little extra free time. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know,
But
just
I
reverse it.
mean, it's we got some good stuff going. So we'll see how stuff happens. But yeah, man. I mean, we got a nice little full docket. I kind of threw on some extra stuff. I don't know if we'll get to everything, but we'll get to what we get to. Uh, First story I sent you: Alex Jones has to pay. They're rounding up to a billion, but it's $965 million for his it's for the parents of the Sandy Hook shooting, which happened back in 2012. Um, he's told a lot of lies, and he's really kind of floated the idea that yes, AB 965 million. What's good, brother? Um, um, Sandy Hook was a hoax, that it was a just liberal media making the story up. These kids never existed. Um, and these people lost children, and that's a traumatic experience in and of itself. But then he has or had, I'm not sure, I've never listened to him, but Alex Jones is the heater. Now forgive me for the pronoun. um, has a large following, and when you have a large following, you can be influential, and what you choose to do with that ability of influence is on you. And he used it for not good reasons. So, what you thinking, bro?
So, um, I don't know how much you know about this guy, Alex Jones. I'm not gonna pretend I know, what I'm saying, like everything about him. I do know, he ran. This was like before podcasting. He ran like a YouTube show. He
Mm-hmm.
had large platforms on Facebook, Twitter, um, Instagram with Infowars. And Infowars is a pretty much
Yeah,
just a conspiracy theory um, show, if you will.
conglomerate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's just because it was before podcast day, so it's hard to say it's a podcast, but you know, it was it was huge. You know what I'm saying? Like he had people from all over, and he did, you know, cover more than just Sandy Hook. Like the 9/11, when it came down to the whole Bin Laden and Saddam Hussein, and I mean he covered an array of different things. So he it was more than just Sandy Hook. He was a conspiracy theorist.
right.
He didn't believe in a lot of the different catastrophic things that happened. He always felt like that there was somebody behind it. And so I say that to say, I get it was a catastrophic event. These folks lost kids, but it's kind of hard, in a nutshell, because it's like, are we crossing the line when it comes to silencing people and what they can say, what I'm saying, with the right of freedom of speech, what I'm saying, and freedom of expression. And so, that's my biggest thing on it is it's definitely wrong for what he, said about these folks' kids, what I'm saying, especially considering the event is real because we don't have anything to prove it otherwise. Um, it's definitely wrong. But my thing is, I think I'm just getting a little tired of every time somebody is saying something or because they have a following or whatnot, it's become the new move to silence people. You know what I'm saying? Or to, basically go after them for speaking how they feel about a situation. And that therefore, what I'm saying, is wrong. And I know you're gonna disagree with it. I can see your facial expressions, but
You can see my face, but I can't see my face.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, what I'm saying, but to me, it's kind of hard for them to even come after him for this type of money for 965 million. If I'm not mistaken, they silenced him way before things really got cooked up. Like they took him off of YouTube and canceled his Twitter and Facebook accounts behind all the conspiracy stuff he was saying way before Sandy Hook. They was threatening to do it, and then after Sandy Hook and a few more events, they did do it. Like if I'm not mistaken, he was before Trump or any of them to be saying deplatformed. Basically, he still found ways to get his stuff out by creating his own platform and websites and whatnot, but it still wasn't to the extent of what he had with having these bigger social sites that was helping fuel, you know what I'm saying, his platform. So, you know, how are you gonna charge this man this type of money when he probably wasn't making nowhere near that, you know what I'm saying, in the long haul? Like, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know all his business, but he's got. I think in the process of this court case, they showed that he has access to that kind of money.
Okay.
Um, um, you
I
know,
believe he do with this type of following, you know, he has. I'm pretty sure some of his supporters is definitely keeping him going, you know, from all this time that he's been going.
sometime I think it was last August. I travel for work. We talked about that before on the show, and you know that obviously. And I was visiting a location in a pretty rural area, and um, it's a retail location, but it's not a. I'm just I'm trying not to give out too much detail. It's a retail location that I was visiting, and this is a retail location where you would not expect to see a cell phone available for purchase, so to speak. And a customer walks into the store, and he's talking to the manager at the store, and he asks, do you guys have prepaid phones? And um, the guy was like, no. If you go down the road to this other retail store, I'm sure that they'll have some options for you. And he goes, I don't want to go to that location. I, they're too mainstream if I go to that location. And then he said, I'm trying to get in touch with Alex Jones. This is last year. This is 2021. Um, the man's influence um, is far reaching and far wide. And defamation isn't a new thing. And I've said this before on the show. Um, I don't believe in the idea of cancel culture. Actions have consequences. We just have an internet now where um, your actions can be felt far and wide. Therefore, the consequences can be felt to an even greater degree because of that reason. His ability to get this massive reach because of the way our technology and society is today created the opportunity for this thing to grow. Um, and the thing is that in this court case, because he actually had to pay like 40 million or something in another court case earlier this year in August. And I remember reading or hearing something about that where they were able to prove that he knew that he was lying and that he was making it up and peddling conspiracy theories. And there's a thing between saying like, here's my opinion, and here's something that I know is a lie. And when you know it's a lie, you continue to push it anyway because you're trying to create a narrative. That's a totally different thing than saying I don't I don't trust this. Right? When you and I get into our COVID debates, so to speak, right? You say I don't trust these things. I've never once, not to my knowledge, I've never once heard you say people are dying from the vaccine. You've never said that. You said, I don't trust the vaccine, right?
Correct.
That's a different thing. That's a totally different thing, right? So sharing your opinion and flat out lying when you know the truth, totally different things. And so no. I mean, I, the big thing here, what I'm interested to see is the far-reaching impact beyond that, because this whole like misinformation thing, I
You got to open a can of worms.
well, I can remember sitting, you know, 10, 15 years ago, you would see an article um, on your Facebook feed, and it would be abcnews.com, but the news instead of an S would be a Z. But people wouldn't see that. They would see the headline, share, never read the article, or maybe glance through the article, right? But it would be like stupid stuff. Um, and then like these rumors aren't. I have so many thoughts, and I feel like I might be all over the place, so forgive me. Um, People just making up stories and stories going far and wide. It is not new at all. Remember, you're only a couple years older than me. I'm sure you remember the rumors of Sierra having a dick. Do you remember ever hearing that?
Yeah, she was a hermaphrodite.
Yeah. How about this one? Um, like, oh, I guess it had to be 8 or 9 years ago. Uh, my oldest son, his family on my wife's side had some hand-me-down clothes and gave it to him, and some of it was Tommy Hilfiger, and I saw it, and I was like, "No, he ain't wearing that. He ain't wearing that." And my wife was like, "Well, you laughing because you already remember?" I was like, "He ain't wearing that." She's like, "Why?" And I was like, "No, he don't. He said he don't want black people wearing it." Never bothered to research it. She literally grabs her damn phone, Google's and
Google
disproves it.
bust everything
But
up.
I heard that in like 1997,
Bro, I
and
was
it
in
just
first
and
grade.
it just stuck with me for forever, right? And I just think that our nature as humans is to you hear something from a source that that you generally trust, um um and it was, I'm sorry, I've got distracted there. You hear something from a source that you generally want to trust, or something that looks like a source that you trust, and you just jump without thinking, without reacting, without researching. That's just general human nature. And because of that, mixed with the power of the technology that we have today, it got out of control. And he never said, "Yo, this is no," or he never backed off of it. Nothing like that, so to speak.
I mean, I see what you're saying, and yeah, I think it might open up down the road for some people, you know what I'm saying? But long as I guess they keep it on a, you know, I don't believe or I don't think this is the case, then they'd be okay.
Yeah,
Um,
words matter.
yeah, and that's I mean it do. And there was actually something, using that type of tactic that revolved around Donald Trump's campaign. You know what I'm saying? Using tactics like that. It was on PBS, and you could probably go to their website and look at it. But it was basically a big old documentary that they did on Facebook, and that was kind of one of the things.
I share.
That is gonna be so for the podcasters. Bradley friend Cher said, "I heard on what's happening that Sierra has a dick." So hopefully
Listen,
she don't run with that because she's gonna be pushing information that she knows is false.
oh man, that I don't even know
That
where
was
to go from
funny.
that.
Yeah, it's about to go to the next subject.
Listen, I'm gonna skip around a little bit since we're kind of on the disinformation thing. Anyway, today we're recording this on Monday, October 17th. It was announced that Kanye is buying Parler. I know I kind of sent that to you last minute. Did you?
Yeah, I read it for sure.
Yeah. So
Because
go ahead.
no, I'm just saying because one, it was Kanye, you sent it, and two, you know, I like new social media sites and I like what it was talking about. So it definitely might be something. I think I'm about to go sign up myself, but could be propaganda for just that reason too. But go ahead, share
Well,
it.
last week he got in hot water. I didn't get to see it, but first off, we already had the White Lives Matter thing, and we just talked about that recently. And then he said some pretty hateful anti-Jewish stuff on Twitter. I heard about it. I never saw it, but it's pretty graphic thing to say, and his tweets got taken down. And his response was something. Let me see if I can find it, but it was something to the effect of, you know, if I can't say what I want to say, then I need to look elsewhere. Here it is. This is Kanye's quote. Actually, this is his tweet when his uh, after his and anti-Semitic tweets when it got taken down. His quote is: "In a world where conservative opinions are considered to be controversial, are considered to be controversial, we have to make sure we have the right to freely express ourselves." More of the article I'm reading from Bloomberg.com. Ye has recently faced restrictions from the major social media platforms for breaking content policies. Twitter removed an anti Semitic tweet from Ye last week, locked his accounts just the day after he returned to the platform for the first time in only 2 years. Instagram has also deleted posts. So, yeah, he, Parlor, I don't know if it, I think it just started at the end of 2020. I never heard of it until right after or right around the 2020 presidential election. And I remember, a lot of conservatives were like, "Yeah, I'm going to go to Parlor. You know, we can say what we want to say. We're not getting taken down." Oh, because at that time, in
Right.
2020, in response to the 2016 election, um, anything misleading was getting marked as misled. I remember I shared a meme from wrestling. It was like wild bear chases down man or something like that. It was a parody account, and the picture was the Big Show, and Facebook was like, "Hey, this is misleading." Like they were tagging anything that was misinformation. They're like, "Y'all ain't gonna blame 2020 on us like y'all tried to blame 2016 on us." And so,
Well, it did happen, and they know it happened.
well, yeah. So, a lot of conservatives were getting mad because a lot of the stuff they were sharing was getting marked as misleading or factually incorrect, something
Mm-hmm.
to that effect. And so that's where Parler kind of came up. I kind of forgot it happened because around the same time is when Donald Trump started his own social media, Truth Social. You barely hear about either one, but I hear more about Truth Social than I do about Parler. I forgot Parler existed, and now Parler is going to be purchased by Kanye West. The interesting part is that I did not know this, but the person who owned the person who
Parler.
owned Parler previously is
Looks
Candace
like
Owens' husband.
didn't AB just say something about
I don't know.
I could have swore Candace Owen and Jordan Peterson, Matt Walsh.
No, he was talking about something else. But no, yeah.
How that
Apparently, her husband is the owner. So you see him a week or two ago wearing the White Lives Matter shirt together, and now she's getting the Kanye bag.
Hey, I ain't mad at her. You know, Kanye upped his bag off Kim. He was smart, so you know, what he worth like 2 billion or 6 billion or something like that now. Six
He's
billion.
worth a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, he caught a bag off Kim and what she was doing with that clothing line or some new shit she had something coming out. It was something new she got coming out. He had like so much stake in it. So when they split up, because of the state that he got in is what changed him from being like a millionaire that he was under, Jay-Z and Oprah and them to being the billionaire that he is now.
I think he became a billionaire while they were married.
I looked it up. I think we was talking about it one day. I looked it up. It was off of something she did, and he had, you know what I'm
I think
saying,
he may have made a bunch of money, but um I think he became a billionaire in because it was like his clothing line that got him over the top.
and
I
he
don't know.
was,
That's off
but
top.
either way, I think I'm about to go join Parlor just to see what's popping. I like to be a part of shit new, but the shit that I was just about to say before we start laughing at Cher, um, it is fitting with the if Kanye do this with Parler. I don't know exactly how Parler's ran. Um, if it's anything like Facebook where you can have groups and whatnot, but people was making massive amount of money. You know, what I'm saying, creating groups on Facebook of, basically splitting people up. Like you had Confederate flag type group here, and then you have like a Black Lives Matter group here. And they was just spewing, false propaganda into each group that fitted the type of group. And if you have that, where it's free to speak over there and there's groups or whatnot, people are gonna turn around and start getting paid over there from the same thing that was happening on Facebook.
Yeah, I think Parler is more of a Twitter type layout than it is like a
Right.
Facebook type layout. But I said I was
But
going
I
to
think
join
they
it.
said the owner was in partner with Twitter at one point or something, and then they split. It was in one of the articles you sent me.
I think maybe that person was like part of Twitter before or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was something like that, but
Yeah.
it's definitely. But I mean, hey, I'd like to see, if he buy it, I'd like to see. But it could also just be propaganda to get people to pop over there and do.
I mean, the deal is done. The only thing that's got to happen now is the money got to get transferred over.
Hey,
But I
we'll
mean,
see what it's like on Parler.
yeah, we will see
I don't
indeed.
think AB was a $50 million loan. I had Googled it or something like how he got rich, and it just basically had said that she had something going on and he had parts in it when they split.
Oh, and I forget. This was the tweet that I wanted to find earlier from Kage. It says, "I never thought I'd download Parler, but if Twitter and Instagram are going to censor and ban our artists, then we need a platform where creatives are safe to be expressive, even at the risk of being offensive." I,
But
that
and that's
sounds like great in a vacuum by itself. Like that sounds innocent enough. I mean, he tweeted about like killing Jews. Eh,
I mean, okay, I don't know what he said about killing Jews, but per the system's schooling, it happened. It was part of history. So I mean, is we gonna be mad at him for speaking it? What was the Holocaust? Was it not part of history?
that's not an excuse for him saying that he would kill a Jew.
Well, that's not what you said. You said he made a post about killing Jews. You didn't say
Okay.
him specifically.
Okay.
Interpretation. Sorry, I mean, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? But that's the other thing too. I don't know. Everybody different, but that's part of life. It's definitely wrong. You know what I'm saying? In certain situations, depending on what you say. At the same time, I'm still the same person that if I had a ticker symbol that I could, put in that know is going to be a part of what happens in everyday life, I'm going to cash in on that. And I
Huh?
say basically, I'm saying like it's death, bro. Like people get bent out of shape about people talking about death, whether they talking
Bruh.
about killing somebody or
Bruh.
what have you.
Nah,
It's
you
death.
can't compare like murder to just general. I mean, like murder is a form of death in general, but the specificity of murder is problematic. You got me. All right.
Hey, I'll be having to pick with you sometime, bro. Like it'd be
You be
fun.
trying just to disagree for the sake of disagreeing.
Hey, I mean, have I not did that since we known each other? I'm
Listen,
I'm I'm gonna be the victim every time. It don't bother.
man. All right, I want to.
I don't like ugly. I just bang my knee on this desk.
Oh hell no. All right.
What's going
So
on, Trina?
we
Kanye do need help though, Trina. I ain't gonna lie with you there.
he definitely does. I threw this at you last minute, so I'm not sure if you had a chance to get into it or not. It's from Business Insider.
Last minute, y'all, always.
Now that's a damn lie and a half right there. Um, Tech CEO calls overemployment trend a new form of theft and deception after firing two engineers secretly working multiple full-time jobs at once. So basically the story is that people are working remote and they figured out a way to work two jobs, collect two salaries. Now we about to be A1 in agreement on this one because
Hey,
you
you
all
might
about the
want
money
to
and I'm
tilt
all about
your camera, bro.
what
Tilt
you
your
say.
camera. Tilt your
Oh,
camera. We gonna
I
see
can't
your
see
nose.
myself.
We gonna see your nose down. So flip it up so we can see your eyes or something. Like we just see Mr. Potato here talking with no
Hey,
eyes.
so part of my technical difficulties, y'all, is that I'm using an iPad right now. I'm not using my normal laptop, but normal camera like I normally would. I can't see myself. So for those of you watching no video, my bad. Um,
But go ahead. My bad. I didn't mean to.
um,
Look
but I
at
was gonna
you.
say, me and you, we about to be 100% in agreement on this one because you all about the money, and if you can get two bags, why would you not get two bags?
Get
And
three.
and me, I'm all about doing stuff the right way. If I can get my job done, why is you tripping? You pay me a salary.
Preach.
So like I don't understand. The only justification I could give it is if it is a conflict of interest.
Yep.
You can't you can't do customer service calls for Verizon and AT&T at the same time.
Mm-hmm. No
I
sir.
mean, unless you work for Target Mobile, but you know.
I mean, if it's contractual that you can do that and be a
you know,
multi-party, dealer, then fine. But
right.
9 times out of 10, that's not going to be the case. And with it being a tech company, I'm assuming, and I didn't read the article, but I'm assuming it's more along the lines of working for one company and then probably freelancing for another. You work from home doing tech work for one company. You could be writing code, program, you know, whatever. You could be helping them out. So if you freelance for another company on the side, you use any of that code or have the possibility to use any of that type of code or programming to help advance this other company, that's would be competition because they're tech companies. It's probably
See,
an issue, and that's
everything is
that's where it's at.
everything is coded as a tech company right now. DoorDash is a tech company. Like, nah, bro. I,
I mean, well, then if that's the case, then yeah, they tripping because you already
they
know
set
how
tripping,
I look
dog.
at it, bro. Because listen, at one point, I'm gonna tell y'all, what I'm saying, this man across from me is a hardworking man. I've known him to work 2, 3 jobs. He gonna pinch in a little bit if you make it work. So and I'm for it. I was his boss and be like, bro, make it happen. Let me know what you need. We work around it. No big deal. Go get that money. Got kids to feed. You know what I'm saying? It's simple.
Yeah.
So, and I was the same way, before I got to that position where I didn't have to, I was working 2, 3 jobs too. It's America. This is just what we need. We trying to get to the American dream. And that's at all costs. You're going to have to work 2 jobs or have a side hustle on a job or something. And they know that. So for dude to even be mad, and then here's my thing. This is the part for me. If any job mad about you working 2 full-time, part-time, whatever, then why you ain't paying me enough to work one?
Speak.
Bruh, like that makes the most sense to me. Like, bruh, like my boss will tell me all the time, hey, I need you. Hey, bro, hold on. We outside the hours, or look, that's quite a bit. And then I say, well, I need to do this over here, you know what I'm saying, so I can make a little extra. Well, why you need to do that? My boss actually just sent out a text message. It's no bullshit. My boss just sent out a text message and said, hey guys, if you feel like, it's come to the point that you need to steal, you know, uh, come to me first. So see if there's anything I could do to help. As an employer, as a boss, if I just had to let an employee go for stealing, I should feel like I ain't shit. It should never have to come to that. If I feel like I'm giving them a better chance to better themselves or better life, and they still got to steal, then something ain't right. Now, I get it. There's one-off situations, but just in the general scheme of things.
Yep.
If I'm paying you and I'm treating you the way you need to be treated, you know what I'm saying, for your family and whatnot, that I feel should be ideal, then you shouldn't have to feel the need to steal. You should be pretty good off. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Man,
Yeah, they tripping.
it just, it's always good. It's all good as long as, the common man don't figure out the way to win the system. I was just sharing a story today. At my old, cell phone job. Man, we used to have the my first full year as a district manager, made dumb money.
Mm-hmm.
Dumb money, right? We cracked the code. Everything was done ethically. We weren't lying to nobody. We weren't cheating nobody. You know what I'm saying? We cracked the code. You throw out a bonus in there. We figure out how to make that bonus work.
Yep.
Suddenly, the bonuses start changing.
Oh, yeah.
My second full year in that position, I got a 10K pay raise that year, and still somehow made $2,000 less year over year.
Hey,
That tell you how the money changed.
bruh, they're not gonna play with it. They know what to do.
So, if someone is not, if I'm able to do my job effectively, and I'm not cheating the system, I'm not cheating our clients, I'm not cheating our customers, I'm getting my reports in on time, I'm getting, my work is top notch. It's everything you could have expected and more. And I'm doing it at the rate that you agreed to pay me for. Then what I do when I'm not working for you is not your business.
Like, why you even care?
So that story, I saw that and I got fired up with that one.
Yeah.
He's the CEO of Canopy. His name is Davis Bell. Apparently he made the post on LinkedIn, and apparently he got dragged.
You go to an employer's network and say some dumb shit. Yeah. I was like Cat Williams, say walk in the club and say fuck all these people, then try to walk out. Okay.
I'll read a little bit of the article from BusinessInsider.com. It says the post went viral Friday after Bell said Canopy, a mid-sized software company in Utah, recently fired 2 engineers who were secretly working 2 full-time jobs simultaneously. Overemployment has soared during the pandemic, with some saying it allows them to make up to $600,000 a year during a period of record inflation and soaring housing costs. Oh, you figured out a way to make more money.
It's the issue, bro. That's what happened. I guarantee. Go look up the salary of Canopy CEO. I bet it ain't. Man, listen. He was pissed. Bro, big mad over there.
Hey, and AB, we talked about it before. You work for the same company. We weren't doing no cheating, no discount codes. We was doing everything up on the up and up, bro. Cashing in every bonus, and they changed the comp plan, dog.
Hey, I believe it. Hey, I believe it wholeheartedly.
Fred been with me side by side. He know I'm gonna figure out the code.
Easy. That boy, he's a number whiz when it comes to his check. That's guaranteed. You can make it complicated if you want. He gonna figure it out.
I'm gonna figure it out. And if it don't math, it don't math. And if it don't math, I won't be there.
Easy. Peace.
Man. I didn't get a chance to read this article, even though I sent it to you. Amazon suspends 50 workers who refuse to work after the warehouse fire.
So listen, I had started on it. I touched it. I can't say that I made it through all of it, but it was like the way they said it was they had gave the people I guess the time off, at the same time, I guess wanting them to come back in, and some of them do that said no, they let them go. But I'll put it to you like this: I worked at Amazon for a brief stint.
Mm.
Yeah, it was brief.
Uh,
As
so brief, you
COVID
ain't even
hit,
tell you about it, dog.
I went and hollered at them, and then you know what I'm saying, was a part of it. But so Amazon has this weird, you know what I'm saying, system. It's dope, but it's weird at the same time. So because of COVID, you were able to literally come into work and leave whenever you want with no excuse, no reasoning whatsoever. You just literally just walk downstairs and say, all right, I'm leaving. I'm cool. You could be 5 minutes in, you could be 5 hours in, you could be 9 hours in. It didn't matter. But at the same time, depending on what department, once they, you know what I'm saying, started figuring it out and, you know what I'm saying, they were starting to mandate vaccinations and different things, they said, all right, we done with letting y'all leave whenever y'all want. That was just basically so we can get something out and produce something while we navigate it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, literally, the people that worked that morning was leaving early, and the people that was coming in that night couldn't. So you have points being thrown, and then you got to go up there to the desk and be like, "Hey, listen, this is what happened," and it's up to the discretion of the manager over there based on what the rules and regulations say if they gonna credit you back the points or not. Once you hit, I think it was like 4 points or however it worked, you gone. So in this situation, we don't know where these people points sit at. We don't know, you know what I'm saying, what the real stipulations of what they got. Like some of them was coming in and had to, but had no idea what they would be doing. And then others came in and knew a little bit from what I gathered from the brief little bit I was getting before I finished the article. And knowing how Amazon system worked, it could have easily just been on some, oh, with the fire, you know, you come in and go as you please kind of deal. We just trying to get stuff out as we recuperate through this. But then somebody changes it and say, okay, no, we're working shifts. People pointing out jobs lost, you know what I'm saying? And it can easily be 50 people like that.
Yeah. I remember about a year and a half ago, I listened to it was an episode of The Daily, and they were talking about, like, in the pandemic, nobody was going out, everybody was staying at home. Getting stuff delivered from Amazon was top tier. That's the way you did stuff. And so they were saying that, like, man, and it was a year and a half ago, but they were talking about how Best Buy had like this. No, I'm sorry, not Best Buy. How Amazon, they had like some really good benefits and structure to get people excited, bring them in. I think they were paying like a sign-on bonus and things of that nature, and then they switched to like a performance-based, like, or productivity-based type monitoring system, and like, it got to the point where you took a bathroom break, it was counted against you. Um, and that put just a real bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And so, to hear something like this is disappointing. I think that's the term I want to use. It's disappointing.
Bruh, it really is. Like when I say, and I just put it in the comments, but they really, I just started thinking about it because we just talking about misleading. When it comes to Amazon, they really dirty for how they do.
Yeah.
They got what they call TOT. That's time off task.
Okay. The productivity thing. Yep.
Yeah. So basically, if you scan a bin here and it sends you over here, they give you a certain amount of time that you should be to that next bin. Now, don't get me wrong. it's ample enough time to probably walk over there and get it in the first 5 hours or so. When you're on your feet all night for 10 hours with two 15-minute breaks and 1:30, and I mean, you literally walking concrete floor back and forth to bins, just grabbing stuff out and scanning, you know what I'm saying? And then you might be scanning over here and you on the third floor in the 500s, and it sends you to the first floor and into the shoe section.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Or you get something on your tails on and be like, hey, put your toed up and go all the way over here to HVA, which is high valuable items. Now you got to go through security. You got to take all your stuff off. Can't no phone, no Bluetooth, nothing come up there because that's where the jewelry and stuff at. So you got to walk all the way to the opposite side, go through security, walk through 3 levels of floors, get here, get a basket, and get back going. And they'll take your little time off task and they add it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like time off task for, okay, you've been sitting here, you hadn't been talking for a straight hour because you ain't scanned a toe in an hour. It's like, okay, I had to move from this section to this section. They give me this much time, but it takes this much time. So therefore, now I got another 3 minutes in my time off task. Then I'm working over here, and yeah, I might have been working for 4 or 5 hours, so I'll take a break by the fan real quick, try to cool down because it's hot as hell in this plant. Fans every 8 rows or so. So, you know what I'm saying? You could be between 8 rows that ain't got a fan for 3 hours.
Wow.
Come across a breeze and be like, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you be like, oh, shit, let me get moving. So, and then the other thing is when you fill out the application, they play you. So you got pickers, packers, and those are the main 2 positions. Pickers is the one with the totes going to get it out the bins. But when you sign up, they say, hey, you could be on a walkie rider, you could be on a forklift, you know what I'm saying, or working a robot. So you like, well, shit, this shit sound dope as fuck. And then on the other one, it's like some basic shit, but you know what I'm saying, it don't sound as cool as a mug being on a walkie rider or a forklift all day.
Mm.
So then you pick the job and then you go there and you got a 2-tier cart with 2 totes and you the one going around with a little thing, picking stuff up, putting on the conveyor belt. You're like, where the forklift? No, it ain't none of that. You can be in a mess hall where it's coming down a conveyor belt and you got to sort it real fast. That's about it. But you got to get trained into that. So, yeah, they mislead you. They work you, you know what I'm saying, like crazy. The system's so screwed. Like I said, in 1 week, I think I hit like 4.5 points, but went up to the thing and I was back down to a half a point. All because it was just miscommunication and miscues for what needed to be done.
Yeah. I hate when the system at a job it's just set up for you to fail. Like I remember,
I mean, it could be done, but you got to learn it and you got to figure it out and know what you can and can't do. Because if you don't realize it, you be gone in a week easy.
yeah, I just keep thinking about this girl. I forgot her name, but so you know the story. When I was at my old cell phone job, I got my district manager position. I moved back home to Michigan when I got it. Right. I don't know if we ever talked about specific details of it, but the stores here were all in shambles. They lost like 70% of the staffing between all the stores that were here. It was bad. And we're going into holidays, right? So anyway, there was this one.
You gotta come work for you.
Say it again.
I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, you come work for me, bro. Like I just need you in one stove.
Move the family in, dog. I hire you in. I got a manager spot.
Yeah, I remember.
But no, we there was this young lady. She got hired in like mid-November. And the way it worked is that your first 2 full months you weren't held accountable to the sales results. And if AB is still in the comments, he might know this because we worked for the same retailer. Um, uh, You worked, you didn't. So if you got hired like halfway through the month, that month didn't count either. But your first two full calendar months, like your results didn't count, and her results didn't count until February. And then you had a minimum sales target of revenue that you had to generate every single month, gross profit, not revenue. I'm sorry. And if you didn't generate that number, you got a warning. And if you missed that number 3 times in a row, or if you missed it 4 times in a rolling 12-month period, you were terminated. She missed in February, she missed in March, she missed in April.
Easy.
Right? The whole we realigned our districts, and her store became part of my district in May. And what happened was is that the store manager that she had did no training. The assistant manager that she had did no training. The district manager that she had did no training. And so what happened was is that she missed her 3 months in a row, and I had to fire her. And I'm like talking to my boss, and I'm like I look at her situation, like it's not fair. And then he was like, you know what? Like, I know what you're saying. This isn't the battle you want to fight. You want to save the battle for like something down the road that you might need to fight a battle for.
Ain't that a bitch?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. A lot of people will say that being in that kind of position, a lot of people say I got screwed. They told me this, they didn't tell me that. And like honestly, a lot of times people be saying they got screwed and whatever, and it don't be true. But this young lady, she got the rawest deal possible I've ever seen. And it doesn't really correlate, but just hearing you explain that process really made me think of her again.
but you say a lot of people say that, and it's not true. But I think one thing we don't take into account is everybody's not going to learn the same way.
Absolutely correct.
So, like right now with the job I got, I was trained, but because I'm not slow, you know what I'm saying, and I can pick up, like, there's a lot of moving pieces in this business that I'm in. And I can pick up, but I was telling my boss and them, I'm like, after I did my training, which was only a week, I said, listen, all of y'all came from some part of this business, whether it was moving up through the ranks, a family member has been in it, you know what I'm saying, and got you into it. So that means, at home, you was kind of seeing and doing this off of the table. Now they're just at the table. I said, I come from know nothing of this business. Like, I know nothing to this business. I've used it
Right.
once in my life, probably 6 years, 8 years before I ever even came to this business.
Exactly.
So I'm like, I'm like, the training just wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh no, it's easy to figure out. You just get it as you go. I'm like, no. I said, tell me, we're supposed to open up new locations. When you do open a new location, what is the procedure to open? They say, well, you just every person just kind of build their own way. Hold on. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have a uniform. You've been in business for over 70 years, and
Right.
you don't have a uniformed way to open somebody up or to welcome a newcomer into your world.
Right.
Even with the training, it was 3, 4 people that came after me, and they all. I said, listen. I told my boss, I said, listen, our trainer, he's a great person. He knows the book in and out. He can't teach it.
Exactly.
He sucks at teaching it.
Yeah.
And until you fix that issue, you're gonna always have, you know what I'm saying, the issue of people always leaving the job unless they just got tough skin and can stick it out. But a lot of times in most businesses, people when they say they wasn't trained, they're not lying. But we say, oh no, you were trained because you were trained the way I was. But did we ever take a second and say, well, do they learn the same way I do?
Yep.
Because if you figure out they don't and you train them the way they need to be trained to learn it, you probably have a great employee.
Yeah, I man, back back to my Verizon, bro. That's something I had to learn. You know, you can't just put a person with somebody and say, okay, this is how you do it. I mean, that ideology works for McDonald's, where you put two pickles on every burger, right?
Right.
That doesn't work for positions where people need to deal with the general public and different things like that. Um, since I'm telling my old cell phone stories, this is I'm three I'm 4 months into my job as a district manager, and I'm asking my store managers, I'm like, how do we feel? Like, do we feel like we need something? Something ain't right in the district, and I can't kind of put my finger on it, right? And everybody's like, no, it's good, we're just trying to go. Like, nobody's giving me an answer,
We
right?
DM, we can't tell you the truth.
So I was just like, you know what, I'm doing it. I transferred like 8 people into new stores. I just did like the most like ridiculous 16 mega trade ever, right? People was mad at me. I made some people go further away. I had this one girl that her house was 5 minutes away from the store that she worked at. I moved to a store that was a half hour away. Mad as hell.
Yep. You lost me.
Hey, hey, she still works there today as a multi-store manager
I
because
believe
I put her with the right one. Within a year, we had her as an assistant manager. No, within 6 months, we had her as an assistant manager. And within a year, she had her own store. So, like, it worked out perfectly. And my results went from, mind you, I told you, we lost a bunch of staff. I got a ton of new people. And we went from like not performing to the next month, we finished 99.96% to go. Mad as hell. I needed one more phone sale to get to go. But your boy didn't miss goal the rest of that year. But yeah, so all that said to say is like, man, like putting people with the right people, giving them the correct type of support, because some people, you can't say go do this, right? A lot of people in sales in particular will say, just watch me do what I do. That don't work for everybody. That'll work for me because I'm gonna pick up your flaw and I'm gonna do it better.
you're gonna try, son. You're gonna try.
Hey, have you ever seen the
Hey,
chef with the butterfly nose?
listen. Hey, the reason he's great, y'all, I gotta pat myself on the back. We'll peel back those covers, but he actually had somebody that brought him in the game and took some time to actually let him, what I'm saying, really flourish and give him the tips and tricks versus, you know, I can honestly say if he probably made it to any other struggling store, he probably wouldn't be the Bradley he was. But because he sure wanted to keep that smile and it wasn't it wasn't gonna work. But nah, no, straight up though, you gotta have the right people, what I'm saying?
Most
You gotta have somebody that understands it. It's just the way it goes.
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna change the title of this episode to "Employers Be Trash" sometimes, or something like that. But I got
Really
Phantom
do.
versus Sunkiss for our social media watchers.
I don't even know
Uh,
why you asked this dumbass question.
hey, for
This should be across the line.
this went viral on Twitter. Now we only talk about orange pop. We're not talking about like the breadth of flavors. We talk about orange pop, Fanta orange pop, or Sunkiss orange pop.
Listen, everybody should know me. I'm a OG type of cat. You know what I'm saying? And ain't no way no little punk ass fan of finna just come around, what I'm saying, trying to make a name for herself in my neck of the woods.
What?
Hey, this should be unanimous, especially if you from up north. I don't know about, I can't say about the southern folks. They might have a knee-high orange or something, whatever, and I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't know what it is or what it ain't, but I would take an orange Fago over orange Fanta. And I don't even know if it's an orange Fago, but I'm just saying, give me the Sunkiss, bro. It's too easy.
Man, bruh. 1 hour ago, Shannon Sharp, he said, "Get off my TL with this bull jive. Fanta grape orange the best." Unc said, Fanta.
Unc always selling out. I ain't trying to hear Unc. Unc be on some old bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I mean, I'm looking at this on Twitter. Oh, people was wrong. I'm not posting that. I'm not talking about that. Just go on Twitter and look up Fanta Orange, and you can see.
Hope I
Somebody
see
wrote
a picture of it in the toilet.
George Foster 72 on Twitter wrote Sunkiss the best orange drink. Period. He said Fanta not even second. I go with Crush, Check, Big K, Fago, Knee High. I don't even know Check and Knee High. It might be Knee. I don't know.
I just said knee high, boy. You
I ain't
ain't
never
never
heard of
heard
it.
Southern folks talk about a peach knee high?
Nope.
They rate that against a peach Fago all day. You Southern folks want a peach knee high, Northern folks want a peach Fago. But yeah, knee high, check. A check is an off-brand Southern drink too, but I done fucked plenty of them up. I'm telling you, check
Man.
ain't bad. But yeah, bro, Fanta ain't even. This ain't even. I don't even see. Uncle Sharp, you know what I'm saying? Uncle Shannon, you know what I'm
Uncle
saying?
Shay Shay?
Listen, he done made too much money. Shay Shay got too much money. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I just matter of fact, and I just because my laptop, my second screen stay on something ESPN-ish or sport wise. I just seen him and his brother showing up the home they grew up in, where they granny took care of them, and their bathroom was in the woods. I can't believe this fool gonna go on Twitter and say something about goddamn Fanta. Like, bro, where you come from?
I haven't had pop for real in over 3 years. And the last pop I had was a cola. I can't tell you the last time I had an orange pop.
Well,
I don't know.
If you're gonna pour it in some vanilla ice cream and make you a float, you know what I'm saying?
Ooh, I never had an orange pop float.
Or grape, you know what I'm saying, sickle float or root beer float. Oh yeah, we got busy at my mama. I don't know shit.
Listen, once I got on the rock and rye floats, everything else went to sleep.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that, G.
That Fago rock and rye, boy.
Oh, Fago rock and rye. I do a Fago grape, you know what I'm saying, or a root beer or something. But Barks to me is say that's a root beer for a float.
Yeah, I ain't did pop in a while. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and go with Fanta just to disagree. But if I'm being honest, I can't decide between the two. hey, hey, wait, did you peep gang? AB literally left the show to go do a Google search to figure out where Fanta.
Hey, bro. I ain't mad at him. He came back and got it for us too. He said Fanta is German was a cake alternative. Now listen, I ain't gonna talk bad about Germany because I was born in Germany. You know what I'm saying? So I do have the ability to have dual citizenship. So I ain't gonna talk about some folks I might need to run to later. But listen.
Hell no.
Yeah, straight up, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I feel you. I don't know if Fanta was even around back then. Like, bro, this is not up for debate. It gotta be Sunkiss. And
You say it's not up for debate, but Twitter went ham with it.
Shit, if that's the case, I'm finna just make a bunch of posts. Fago or knee highs.
Somebody wrote Sunkiss because Fanta is a Nazi creation and all orange soda is pretty much the same anyway.
I mean, I guess we spoke about the Holocaust earlier. It's okay to say.
Somebody wrote Sunkiss only because orange Fanta is everywhere. Somebody else wrote Sunkiss, that orange Fanta got an aftertaste.
That is something I ain't think about because where you at. But it's probably not a lot of people that even know what the damn Sunkiss is. that might be some shit just up in, you know what I'm saying, around our neighborhood. Cause like for real, I ain't never think I would ever miss a Verner's. But when all you can get is a Canada Dry or LA, I be like, damn, hold on, I gotta go back home. I need a Verner's. One time for the one time.
Hey, when I was still drinking pop when I lived in Ohio, I'd be missing my little Fagos. We didn't have Fagos where I lived at in the Cleveland area.
Listen,
I'd be missing my little Fagos every now and then. I'd be missing my Better Made chips. That's a Detroit specialty right there.
bro, have you ever had Nichols Donut Fair donuts?
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
Back in the day, I forgot
bro,
about them donuts. Oh, I hate you right now, dog.
bro, we got a Nichols Bakery back at home, so like it's always Donut Fair donuts. Like any store you go to, like matter of fact, I think it was last week or a couple weeks ago. You was talking about like you can go
The
to
Hostess
one.
Factory.
Bruh, we got so same thing, bro. You can go in there and they expire in like a day or two, so you can buy them for like $1.25 or something. Listen, if y'all ain't never had a cruller or a little, the little bag of donuts, the glazed kind, Little Debbie tastes like wax. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Tasty cake, it can be sometimey. Like, but I don't give a damn who make Nichols Donut Fair Donuts is the best bag of cruller donuts you can get on the glaze side in America. And bro, I didn't even search them on Walmart to see if I could have them delivered to mine, bro. Because on me, that orange and gold bag is still the same to this day, and it's fire.
AB say I'm talking about soda like a lost love, bruh. I don't even
Hey,
Jones for it, dog.
I
I'm telling.
understand him, AB. I ain't drunk soda like in so long. Well, I ain't gonna say so long because I drink with my liquor. But like
Bruh,
when I was in school, I'm like, man, I ain't drank soda since I worked for McDonald's as a freshman because all I drank was orange iced and water for sport. Yeah, I get it. You gotta let everybody know you ain't been on it. You know what I'm saying?
bruh. When me and Fred was in that Target every day, he would go get a big ass cup of cheese and a bag of hot Cheetos and dip his Cheetos in the cheese. And I would go and I would get a big ass cup, the largest cup they had, and fill it up with Coke.
See,
A
I would get a
cola.
fruit
Don't be thinking I'm
punch.
talking crazy on here. I already said something crazy about Sierra earlier. Coke a cola.
Nah, I would do the fruit punch, but hey, if you ain't grew up with me or in my area and don't know about that hot Cheetos and cheese, I don't know what to tell you.
When
Especially
I
if we
seen
had
this man
pizza
dipping hot
in
Cheetos and
school.
cheese, I knew I was dealing with something different.
Who did they let be my boss?
And we was both getting them fresh sugar cookies off that.
Listen, I'm gonna wait the time.
Look here.
I low
Before I get
key.
hungry, where can they find you at?
Hey, Mr. Humble_beginnings, Fred Scott on Facebook. I'm gonna keep saying it. Go watch my reels because I need to get paid. You know what I'm saying? The 64 ounce of our cocaine.
Cocaine.
Cocaine. Oh, oh, Jesus.
This episode about to get flagged like shit.
Hey, it's not misleading. I can tell you that much.
Hey, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Brad Robinson 1986. On Twitter at Brad Robinson 86. Follow the show at What's Happening, WHUSHATTNIN. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. Leave us a 5-star rating in your podcast app. Share the show with a friend because love is a verb, and you're going to put action behind it because you want to see us to continue. Yeah, you want to see us to continue to grow the show. I thought I had it. I thought I want to go stammer stutter. No, sir. I'm going to do it one time. We will be with y'all next week. Appreciate it.
Peace.